interesting. What we have here is a Honda TRX 400 EX. It's from a quad, so 400cc, air-cooled, which is what I was looking for, simple. Downside from the Buell Blast or the Suzuki 450 that originally came or was built in the car. Obviously it's 400cc, so already down 50cc from the LTR, which is probably kind of the benchmark, I guess you'd say, for this car. Also down 100cc from the Blast, but advantages over the Blast. It's a lot lighter. That Blast 500's heavy. Might be, I don't know why it's so heavy for a single cylinder. How it's packaged is the motor on some wood pallet, and it was 198 pounds, where I think the LTR was somewhere around 80, and this thing's also somewhere around 80. Sprocket is on the left side. It'll line up better with the design of the diff that I already had for it, like the Suzuki. Electric start as required. Dry sump. I think they're carbureted, but I mean, I have fuel injection. The whole intake system I can adapt to this. So as I'm running, gonna try Mega Squirt, so should be able to run EFI no issue. So I did some research after the Blast wouldn't work. Wanted air cooled, something that can make decent power, and this is one of the other options I found. There's also like the Warrior, I think, Yamaha. I think that's a 300, and also there's a TRX 300. But both of those, talking to the local dirt bike dealer, said this is a better option as far as power they make. The other ones are more of like kind of a utility engine, he called it, not as high performance as these. I said these burn oil, but if you stay out of high RPMs, doesn't have that issue, but we'll see. Another thing about this motor compared to the Blast, you can get them like 500 plus the shipping, whatever that may be. I think I got mine with shipping for 700. This is a little bit more, is around I think 850 or something like that. Of course, transmission's not working. Ones that were complete are closer to 1,000, but since then I've joined like all the TRX 400 Facebook groups and seen a few motors complete going for around 900 or so, 900. So it's a little bit more than the Blast, but a lot less than the Suzuki. So still meets what I wanted, a cheaper engine that can make power compared, not as much power, I guess, as the LTR, but good enough, something that'll work in a Formula SAE car on my budget. Do I expect to be the fastest FSAE car ever? No, but I'm gonna have fun with it. Hopefully it runs. Said it ran, just with the broken transmission. I'm gonna have to get in there and see if there's some bent shift forks or something, but the complete shift drum, forks, both shafts are like $150 on eBay, so shouldn't be an issue. But if it's just a bent fork or something, it's even better. It'll be even cheaper. But does it fit? Much better than the Buell. Actually fits. This room. I mean, these tabs I can cut off. I'll probably have to make the new engine mounts. but I got plenty of room here. And that's with basically the head all the way forward, but can't go forward right now because those tabs are in the way, but it fits. This isn't where it's going to sit or even the position of where it's going to sit. I'm just looking how much room we have to work with. And the mount for the electric shifter can move. I mean, the shifter brackets or lever is in the back, so that's not going to work anyway. Intake, and then where's the exhaust? I mean, and take the seat out. And the exhaust ports are back down here. Nine hands. So there's the port. One, and so even with the head sitting against the seat, in this position at least, there's room for, you could sneak a exhaust header through there. So great success. So we got one mount up here, and then two back here. I only use one of those. The LTR, we did use something on the top that connected to this tab here. So I don't know, maybe I need new valve cover, or I'll look through find a manual for a TRX 400 and see what the motor mounts, what they use, and use what Honda designed on this motor. I don't want to stress anything on this, on the head or on the case that's not supposed to be stressed. So those tabs, there's some on the other side. There's a bar that ran across, and same in the back. The idea was you unbolt those cross tubes and the motor will come out from the bottom of the car. So I'll do a similar setup. It'd be nice if the bars will work with this motor, so then I don't have to order a bunch of tubing. I don't have a bender anymore. And also the motor, as far as the angle it's at, it might not necessarily be this angle, and it's not going to sit that low. It's going to be, this is the lowest part of the tube, or of the frame of the whole car. I'm going to have it ½ inch above that, so the motor's not going to hit the ground. The frame will hit before the motor does. Making me use hand tools like a caveman. Radiator no longer needed. So now we have the CG of the motor. We can mount it. So the CG will be the lowest it can be, with the lowest point of the engine being ½ an inch up the lowest point of the frame, which is this tube. Get the car so the frame is on the concrete, and I'll have to shim up the front of the frame. I'll go into my old files and see how high I need to stack stuff up to hold the front of the frame. So as designed, this car is level with it being on the ground. And from there I can get some ½ inch shims and put it under the engine and orient it that way. And then kind of see what I gotta do for tubes to get all the mounts lined up, and probably weld up some new mounts for the engine. And as well, I mean, the motor's kind of crooked right now, but straighten it out. And the sprocket, too many tubes. Sprocket kind of lines up with the cutout for the chain. Oh, I guess I could have done this way. So I would prefer to have that CG as close to center line as possible, because originally this car was heavy on the right because the motor was offset so far right, just to have, as I explained before, this narrow rear part of the frame, which in the end doesn't really mean anything. But now that I have a new motor, I have to make new mounts, so I can correct that to, try to have even handling when you're going left and right hand turns. The fuel tank does go over there on the left, so I can cheat the motor a touch to the right to kind of offset that. As well as with the battery, I'm not going to keep that battery. I think I can go with something smaller. And also when I mount the turbo, I can kind of offset that to center up the CG as well. But next, get the car on the frame, shim the motor 1/2 inch up, and start making mounts for it.